Doom doom gadee doom gadoo gadoom doom doom gadee doom gadoo gadoom. Don't give in to the chaos. Keep your focus on the light. You are not alone, all is not lost. Do not give up the fight. Just keep moving toward the world we can become. We got to keep moving, and we will not slow down till the day is won. Don't believe in the nonsense. Clear your mind and stand your ground. If I rise up and you take my side, they will never knock us down. We got to keep moving, to keep the faith and hold the line. We're gonna keep moving and show the tyrants we are of one mind. Don't give in to the chaos.
What's going on, local 1700 brothers and sisters? This is a shop floor alert. I don't know if you've seen some of the digital artwork postings. That's what I'm calling it nowadays, digital artwork postings. But it's saying that a podcast is going to drop Friday, and this is coming out Friday morning, which is this morning. It's a serious topic we want to talk about real quick to kind of give our membership an understanding of what's going on in the shop and how it will affect you. First thing I want to say is when things happen in the plant, your leadership is constantly working on different issues. There's a lot of issues on the floor that we do here daily, whether it be through social media, whether it be through our members communicating to us directly, indirectly through the stewards. But as your top leadership, meaning not only your top four, but your committee men, we're constantly talking about some of the issues. We recognize that these issues actually exist. So I don't ever want you to think that we're ignoring your issues. We're always having these conversations behind the scenes to try to correct them with management. When I say manager, I'm talking about the plant manager, with the labor department, and the trickle-down effect is to the floor supervisors, area managers, center managers. With that being said, this week coming up, which is going to actually be May 7th and 8th, we have a big day for voting, and that voting is going to be for the UAW constitutional delegates. So I encourage everybody to come out for that, for sure, 100%. Come support your candidate. We'll be down here 24 hours. The polls open up at 5 o'clock in the morning on the 7th, and it runs all the way to the 8th, 8 o'clock a.m. in the morning when they close. We'll be here down here at the local. That's 6440 14 Mile Road. For those who don't know, I encourage you guys to come out, support your candidate, because these people are going to go to the floor. And basically what they're going to be debating and arguing and voting on is what Aaron kind of said it best the other day. It's basically the bylaws of how everything is ran from the top on down. When I say bylaws, from the top on down, from international level to the region, and there's a trickle-down effect down to the local. We do have our own separate bylaws, but it must fall in line with the Constitution. And all those decisions are made on that floor when we had this convention coming up in June. So I encourage everybody to please come vote for your delegate who's going to be your voice on this conversation, on this platform coming up. But what this podcast is about is what's also going to be on the ballot. And what's going to be on the ballot is a strike authorization vote. Before our membership jump up in arms, I need you to understand why we're doing what we're doing and taking this action. And I'm going to let Mike Hudson, the Skilled Trades Committee man, speak on it a little bit more in depth. But basically, it encompasses everything as it relates to notice of contractors, right? And this is going to be an issue that's affecting skilled trades directly, but it do affects our production operators indirectly. You know, I always say that we are one local, we are one union, we are local 1700, and we need, as a local, to send a message to management, particularly local management and the corporation as a whole, that some things not only will not be tolerated, but we will take a stand to fight against it. Over the last, I want to say year and a half, I know I myself and the top four officers recently just got elected, maybe about approximately a year ago. We have been looking for opportunities because we hear the complaints, we hear things that's going on from the committee men to the stewards, for the constituents about different issues, but we've been looking for the right opportunity where there is a firm case that we can stand on. And when I say that, there's only so many things that you can strike on, what they call strikeable issues during a national contract. This is a good case that's going to be presented to our membership. And this is where we want to draw a line in the sand, and take a stance on where Local 1700 stands as far as management violating the contract. Before everybody, hey, Mike, they violate the contract all the time. Before you go there is a process. And management loves to lean on one thing and one thing only. You guys got a grievance process that must go through step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, and then the arbitration to get some type of resolution. And they lean on that because that process is time consuming. I'm just going to be honest with you, it's time consuming. So that's why I always say the union wheel turns, but it's a slow turning wheel. But there are some things that will fast track us to get resolutions, and one of them is those things that are strikeable issues. As a local here at Local 1700, and I'm gonna tell you as a president, as myself, this is uncharted waters for me, so I'm gonna just be honest. But I'm confident. I read the language multiple times. I did reach out to International for their support, and I'm being told from the Atlanta side that they are supporting everything that we're doing in this, because they read over some of the things that we sent up. I had a lot of conversations with Brother Mike Hudson, our committee man for skilled trades, a lot of conversations with our Vice President Eric, a lot of conversations with the committee as a whole, that we believe this is the right fight to move forward at this point to take a strike authorization vote. I am going to turn it over to Brother Mike so he can give you a little bit more detail. But I want to tell you the decision that we make next week when we vote, which I am encouraging everyone to vote for the strike authorization, is the decision that we need to make at this time. And for clarity, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to go on strike, because I don't want to get panic out there, okay? But what we're asking the membership is, if we can't turn the ship on this issue along with other issues that we are concerned about, but this issue particularly, because this is what the grievances are written for. When I say grievances, this list that I have in front of me, this is approximately 81 grievances on the same violation that have happened multiple times throughout the last 1 year that management refused to correct. If we don't take a stand now, then the company will never have the respect that we're demanding on other issues that we're arguing about behind the scenes that's not strikeable issues. So it does affect everybody. It sets a precedence on how we move going forward. I know I'm going to turn over the mic, but if we say we want to be a fighting local or fighting union, this is where the fight starts at. We don't wait till 2028 and throw everything downtown and say, hey, resolve our issues. We resolve our issues in-house. And we start the fight in-house. I lost sleep over the last 48 hours for sure. And it's because I have to weigh what's the right decisions and what's not the right decisions. At this moment in time, I believe this is the right decision. Mike, can you give us a little bit more in-depth on what this issue is?
Yes, President. So in May of last year, I was elected. First day in office, I went to the company and gave them my agenda to move forward to follow the contractor, with the outside contractors being in our building. They said okay and said they would follow the contract, which that never happened. I would have to try the NOC meetings. It's a notice of contractors. Management wouldn't show up. If they showed up, Dan Damstetter, the plant engineer, he is the one that's supposed to have them conversations with me to give me notice, advance notice of any outsourcing of the skilled trades work in the plant. We were supposed to get the opportunity to bid on the work, to do the work in-house. That never happens. I sat down with my team, including the stewards, and involved you, of course, Press, to attack this issue because it's a big issue and it puts our livelihood at jeopardy. Not only do when you outsource the work, contractors are in the building, they are not giving you the equipment for production that they deserve. Mm-hmm. Our trades it's our house. You do something at home, you're gonna put more effort, more pride into your work than you would if you were to go into someone else's house. That's just human nature. It's also, it defeats our apprenticeship program at the plant. Our apprentices don't get the construction experience that they need to develop the skills to be a qualified tradesman in the plant. It's standing on principle to, hold the management's feet to the fire to uphold our contract, and they're going to follow the contract. Me and my team, we have sat down and fought it since May of last year. Management is still in refusal to follow the contract. Every grievance we wrote on it, and there's more, we write them on a daily basis, they're still not following the advance notice. I'm getting appropriation letters after the work has been done. And it is time to take a stand, draw the line in the sand, and let them know that this will not be tolerated. We, as skilled trades, need all the support from this local to move forward, and it affects everyone in the plant.
Okay. So with that being said, Mike, like you said, we have met in those meetings. I know I've come with you to multiple meetings. I know the shop chair, Theron Jackson, we call him Big Sauce, he come to meetings. I know Eric had been to the meetings. We gave them plenty of opportunity over the last year to try to resolve this issue where we didn't have to get to this point, right?
Correct.
Okay. I bring that up because there are some things that was presented to us as a resolution, and I want to be clear so nobody can tell. Nobody, when I say nobody, I'm talking about management, right? Can't give a different story. Management resolution to the grievances is, yes, we admit we violated the contract. That's their answer. Yes, we admit. But no, we don't believe or feel, or they're taking a stance that with resolving the violation, meaning going forward to meet with weekly, as they supposed to, as outlined in the contract, with the skilled trades, we do not feel like we should have to do any resolution to what has happened in the past. And that's where we defer at. I know we have some differences in opinion between us and management on what man-to-man allocation is as far as any type of resolution. I had some conversation with labor manager yesterday just to get a clear understanding. And the conversation was not, hey, let's negotiate, let's talk, let's try to find some middle ground. The answer was no. Zero. There's nothing to discuss anymore besides the fact that we will continue going forward to try to meet with you guys. That's not satisfactory. That's not satisfactory. I know I spoke to Brother Jabron today. I spoke to Chuck, spoke to the other committee men about some of the issues that's happened on the shop floor. And it's the attitude or the demeanor that's not just a skilled trades gig. It's over the whole shop floor, right? We see a lot of our brothers and sisters, and I'm using you right now, Jabron, as an example, because we had some conversation today when we met about when we met with management about some of the things that management say out their mouth, and they're not held accountable for it, but in the same breath, tone, and tempo that our hourly production workers say, and they're getting 30 days off or they're getting terminated. Would that be a correct statement?
That's correct. If management
Talk to the mic.
If management do something, it's sent to the talent manager. We feel that's not effective because we see management the next day. If our people do something, they out pending. Hey, and most of the time it results in 30 days off. And HR is saying that they do that because we under the collective bargaining agreement, we can get our jobs back, but management can't. But they still should be held to the same standards and consequences that we held to. If we gotta respect the contractual language, they should have to respect it as well. And I know me and Mike was in there in HR at the time talking to the labor manager, and they just not standing on that. I mean, labor disciplined us. She said that goes, when management get in trouble, it goes to the talent manager. But I promise you, none of the management is being held accountable like we are. And we keep requesting meetings with the talent manager, still yet to have a meeting with him involved with the whole committee. So he absolutely correct on that. So I tell everybody, just make sure if any member of management coming on y'all, request y'all steward. If it's going to result in discipline, exercise your wine guard rights. Say, hey, call my steward. Don't call your steward in front of them because then they're going to put you on notice for pulling out your phone. Say, hey, I'm going to do what y'all asked me to do as long as it's not violating your health and safety. And then request for them to call y'all steward because right now, we not being held to the same standard. We all tired of seeing our people go out pending investigation, but management being there the next day.
So, Brother Chuck, Big Chuck, Chuck Archer. And I'm calling you that out of all due respect, first thing. But I know when I was a committee man, you was the shop chair at the time. I know you got a lot of experience underneath your belt. I know it's nothing new under the sun, as they say, right? So with that being said, do you see what's going on today as something new or is something that's been done? How did you guys attack it before, if you had to attack it?
Well, we had experienced supervisors on the floor that didn't do some of the things that they do now. Like we talked in the meeting today, the aggressiveness of the supervisors now, when they think they can say and do anything they want to do, and then when our constituents come with the same energy, and now all of a sudden you want to take them to labor, and then they get put out, and nothing happens to the manager. We didn't have that a lot, so it's a difference in the management group. Definitely a difference in the management group.
While you on the mic, Chuck, was everything a direct order back then? Because that's what management used every time they say something. Now, I'm giving you a direct order. Was everything a direct order back then?
No, it wasn't really, no.
And that's because you had experience in management. Most of the management from those days.
Management and experienced employees as well.
Yeah, that's true too.
We had bad employees as well. I mean, some of the managers give them 4 or 5 times. When I was a steward, I had a supervisor, Denzel Washington. 3 or 4 times he'll talk to him about something before he even come to me as a steward. And they kind of figured they knew that. So, but you definitely don't have that now. First thing they want to do is they call labor before they call the steward sometimes.
Yeah. Any thoughts on this, Brother Eric?
Yeah, I got a lot of thoughts on this. When you first assigned me those grievances, third step, I went in with the understanding of hey, I don't understand too much of this. Me and Mike Hudson had a conversation, and explanations as far as the mechanical and the language that applies to skilled trade was very, very clear. And it goes back. It doesn't just start now. And that's what our current management and labor staff doesn't realize. This goes back to Grady. Came after Grady, it was
Skilled trades?
Yeah.
Nyquist.
Yeah,
Chris Nyquist.
Yep.
Then Spanky.
Yeah.
Came Spanky.
Yeah.
Then they're trying to act like we don't know the history of Sterling Heights Assembly Plant. Even managers, maintenance managers, that have spent serious time at Sterling Heights Assembly Plant agreed with us in those meetings. I'm not gonna say no names because I'm not gonna put nobody on Front Street, but everybody know we did do that and we won't do it no more. But to the production people, you need to understand, this is just a litmus test to see what they can get away with.
Yeah.
So it's not about, this only affects the trade. This affects everybody.
Everybody.
We're having the same problem with our custodial people in the paint shops.
Yeah.
Bringing in contractors to steal their work without notifying us, without giving our people opportunity to do that work. And if we continue to sit back and let them keep pushing and pushing and pushing, then we're going to all be out of a lot of stuff. And I seen one person, I was scrolling Facebook, and they said, what is the union going to do about management constantly violating us? So we're now taking it to the union, the highest authority in Local 1700.
The people.
The membership. Yep, the membership.
So this is an opportunity for you, the union leadership, the highest authority, to flex your muscle and let management know now we standing on business.
Together.
Because if you don't stand on business on this, they're going to keep pushing. And they're going to keep pushing. And some of you lower seniority people are going to pay the price. So this is even a bigger fight for you. So you need to join with us as a local. And everybody on both sides need to put the differences aside and we need to come together. Because either we going to stand together or we gonna fall as individuals.
Well, I mean, you said it. You stand together, you fall. I just want to throw this in there because we not gonna. I just want the members to understand when they start hearing this. This gonna generate a lot of attention. Okay.
Yeah.
We recognize as leadership, and that's why I said I lost a lot of sleep. That our plant is still the number one producing, carrying this corporation. With that being the case, one would think that if we are the moneymakers carrying the corporation, the company would be more amped to sit down with this leadership that you elected and try to get some resolution, not only to the NOC grievances, which is strikeable, but with all the issues that we have. It's very, very discouraging to hear my committeemen, stewards, and the people say some of the things I'm hearing. And to what Eric just said is if we don't take a stand today, then it's setting the stage for what's going to happen over the next several years going into 2028. At some point last year when we did do the stand-up strike or whatever the case is, it was our location to actually, at the end of the day, put an end to the strike.
Yeah.
We went out for 1 week. It was 1 week. It wasn't even the whole 7-day 1 week.
Exactly.
And the company came back to the table and said, hey, let's talk. We don't have unreasonable demands. When I say we, I'm talking about we as a local, our people. But we do ask aid to be treated with respect. But the first thing I should say is to honor the contract. And that's what these grievances is, because they're not honoring the contract. That's a problem. Take the arrogance out of it that we do believe management displays daily from the shop floor all the way up to labor, all the way up to the plant manager. Take the arrogance out of it. Come to the table. Let's do what's right for not only the product, but for the people that build the product. We play within the guidelines of what that contract says. But don't bend, twist, or gray area the contract when it's very clear on the process.
Right.
Chuck, me and you had a lot of conversations. Two of the members came up to the last union meeting talking about the work being outsourced.
I was going to bring that up.
Okay.
I was about
I'm
to double
jumping the gun,
jump
right?
in there and talk about them contracting. Basically, it's the same thing as the trade.
It's basically, it's exactly the same thing.
So, they supposed to talk to me when we have trucks that need to be outsourced or offloaded. And when they don't have that meeting with me, because they had to give me a chance to at least say, hey, look, my repairman can do that, which I did the other day with Mike. I said, hey, look, they want to send these 30 trucks and these 100 trucks out. Tell the plant manager we can do that work. Yep. And that stopped them from doing it. But in the past, we have grievances that the stewards wrote on all 3 shifts where they did not talk to me about that. And those grievances will be settled, and I'll be sitting down with Andrea because the lower
level management
reps don't know how to even talk about that stuff. So I have a meeting set up with her to negotiate those grievances. I know I've been getting a lot of calls. Like you said, the 2 people came up to you at the union meeting, but it's the same thing.
Yeah. So just for clarity, for those who don't understand and who are not in those departments such as skilled trades or materials or 9190, there are certain meetings contractually that's supposed to happen, that should happen, that must happen going forward. And it just should happen, period, where the manager's supposed to sit down with these certain committee men who you elected to represent your area or division to say, here's the work that we're sending outside the plant. Can you do this work? Can you do this work? What is your bid? What is the manpower look like? Those that we're supposed to have a fair shot opportunity to it. And I know me and you have talked for a while about the same thing that Mike is doing right now.
Exactly.
Is management is not doing it.
Because we up next.
Yeah.
If y'all don't vote this in, so we can use this for all of us.
As a stage, yeah.
It's a stage and it's a platform to say, hey, look, you're not going to do it with the trades. Then I'm going to come up. You're not doing it with my group. You're not going to do it with nobody with Local 1700, period. So we need everybody to get out there and vote for this.
And that's the whole point. When we win,
right?
And it's not an if. When we
win, yeah.
Then we have to put, our backbone behind our words, because we are saying that, hey, we can do this work. There's no reason for any of this work to go outside of the corporation. Our employees can do it. So then when that opportunity comes to actually perform and do the work, we have to do that.
Yeah.
We have to prove that, hey, they were absolutely right when they fought this fight.
Yeah.
Or they gonna turn around and say, they blew that one.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next one and see. Because if they can't properly defend this one, then okay, let's take all the drivers out. Let's take all the material people out. Let's take all the anything out. We gotta make sure that we're in there doing what we say we're doing.
Every podcast, and I'm saying this very clearly because I know this podcast, for sure, if management not looking, they will be looking.
Exactly.
So I want to say this. Every podcast, we whoop our people legs. Come to work. Do your job within cycle time. Know your SWI, SOS. Get trained on your job. We whoop every podcast. This is not that podcast. This is the podcast where we're saying to the management, to those who are tasked to lead this plant from the managerial side, sit down with your local leadership and resolve these issues with an amicable resolve. Not I say it all the time, working on my cussing, but not a go fuck you resolve. That's where we at today.
Yeah,
that's where we at today.
Right.
And
if they fuck one of us, they fuck all of us.
And that's
if
why
they
we
fuck
gotta
over the
stand
trades,
together.
then they gonna fuck over my MLM. They gonna fuck over trim, chassis final, 90.
Well, we have to make a stand because where does it stop? If they continue to outsource trades work, they'll go to MLM. Where is it going to stop? And next thing we know, if we don't make a stand,
They need to know we mean business. We mean business with this vote.
Maybe one day we're going to be building a half a truck in there with half the workforce.
Yeah.
To my brothers and sisters in trades, since Mike been in office, and even before Mike, but I'm most definitely going to say since Mike, we have been trying to build a bridge. We continue and we will continue to build this bridge to these relationships with skilled trades to say we all are one local, one union. I am asking my production brothers and sisters to stand with us because we are one local, one union. I am also asking trades to recognize that we are always in a fight together, whether it's your fight directly or indirectly, and I'm asking for the same courtesy and respect and recognition when it comes to production issues. I have to put that out there because that is some concerns. We cannot be a house divided. We have to be a house together. We can fight amongst ourselves, but when it comes to something that affects all of us, even if it doesn't affect all of us, it affects all of us, we have to stand together on all those issues. I want to make sure I said that because I want to address some of those concerns. To my production people, those are our brothers and sisters, just like you spoke earlier today. Caravan, HBC. I'll be honest, they don't feel like they're part of Local 1700.
Right.
They voting today on a contract today for them. And I'll tell you, we had some informational meetings the other day, and the same sentiment went over and over again. Well, we don't get involved because we don't feel like we party out and we don't get the support. They think we are below you guys because we are service workers in the sense of cleaning bathrooms or wiping down machinery. You are our brothers and sisters, and we need to embrace each other because the fight in 2028 is going to be a whole lot rougher than the fight that we see today. It's going to be a whole lot rougher. And as it was stated earlier, this is the stage.
You know what, Mike?
Yes, sir.
The most offensive part of this situation is they took the emergency language and wagged it in our face and said, this language is clear. We can do this as long as we want. We produced language that was equally clear.
Local language, yeah.
Yeah.
That senior management in maintenance that has been at any plant more than 5 or 10 years will agree that is how we've always done it. Contractual language, past practice, it has always been done like that. You can ask senior labor reps like Hank Maraska, so he fought that battle and lost.
Mm-hmm.
So for them to wag emergency status in our face and they say, y'all got to accept that, and we eat it because, yeah, it's written in black and white. But then to take that language that deals with this violation and say we see it differently, that's an offensive thing to everybody, whether you skilled trade, production, anything. Because they just insult everybody's intelligence.
Absolutely. I see the company doing this, Eric, and they systematically doing it, trying to erase every past practice that we have had at our location for years and saying, where is it in the book? And then when it is in the book, well, we trying to find a loophole out of it, or we just going to straight out violate it, okay? Every plant has its own culture. Every plant, including Shop. We have our own culture. Even when we merge plants because of the product and plant was slated. We built a culture. And to let management come in, when I say management who don't have any ties to our plant, to come in and change what we know, who all been at the plant for all these years, what we say is past present, that's an issue. That's a problem. That's a problem. And we want to address that problem with the strike authorization vote. The strike is not about those issues directly. They are for sure about what's on paper, which we are grieving, which went through the processed all the with the third step. As you said, Eric, earlier, you sat down and had a conversation, but that conversation was not fruitful to resolve what happened in the past. And I'm going to bring this up just so y'all know.
I mean, let's take it there, Mike. Take the gloves off.
When we were down at the council, after they said they agreed that they made a mistake and they're going to do better, they were still putting down floors in the HR labor floor without talking to the skilled trades guy to say, can you guys bid on that work?
Let's even take it even a little bit further back than that. When Stellantis first took over Chrysler, FCA, whatever you want to call it, Filosa made sure that no investment was put into that plant.
Yeah.
They paid skilled trades overtime not to do anything because they didn't want to fix nothing. They wanted to blame the bad quality, the constant breakdowns on the work because they had a plan. We stood up as a local and outed them, called them liars to their face.
I remember that.
Yeah.
The International kept constant pressure on that this guy is trying to wreck this company because he wanted to move everything out of
United States.
the United States and move it to Mexico. Because the only thing he cared about, and I think the majority of them care about, is shareholders.
Yeah.
I agree.
So if we don't stand and say enough is enough, they coming. They coming. So if your life, just imagine your life without what you have, and you're watching somebody else do it for $8 an hour or $8 a week or it's going to be a problem. We already got the constant threat of AI. That's going to be a threat. We got to come together. We got to be a united union saying, hey, we stand for something. And right now we're standing for our survival, our future.
Yeah. Because that's what we're doing. The fight today is not just for the day. Right. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. It's small on a bigger scale of things, bigger scale of things, but the fight is got to start somewhere. And it's got to start here. And I'm going to say this also. I did talk for the last month and a half, 2 months, but it's been about 2 months that we really been digging hard on this. And yes, we don't always put everything we talking about to the membership because we're trying to resolve these issues internally, right? But I have been speaking with International, back and forth daily, weekly, with some very, very high-level international reps all the way up to, but not including President Sean Fain, but all the way up to that next level of. And that concludes from Brother Rich Boyer, Steve Stahl, all the way down, Harvey Hawks, all the way down. Region, everybody. And, because I'm not going to really dilly just throw our membership in a situation. I will tell you, I feel like that, and not feel, I know through the conversations that I'm having that we are on the right path, on a direction. Now, they don't get involved in strike authorization. I don't want to say anything to that nature. But the violation itself, they recognize from those levels that a violation has occurred. Now, I'll tell you, as heavy as the head to wear the crown, yeah, there's going to be some retaliation behind this, right?
Definitely.
There's going to be some retaliation behind this, and we understand that. So I always ask our members, when you go into a fight, you got to stand strong. I even told the leadership here.
Don't be that casualty.
Yeah, don't be the casualty, because we're going to, this is a serious fight at this point.
And there will be casualties.
And there will be casualties. You're right.
And like you said, it might be some of our leadership as well.
There may be some of our leadership. So we need to walk on pins and needles as we go forward. Right. Make sure we're doing everything by the book.
Right.
Because this is not going to go over well. But the membership, and I'm asking the membership to vote to give us the authority to, if we want to go to strike, that we can approach International and say, hey, our membership is behind us on this issue to go for it if need be. Now say that if need be, because no, we don't want to strike. But we do want to take a stance. And if that stance causes us to have to go all the way to strike, we want to be able to have the ability to do that.
And that vote that we do give us the power. The more people we get to say yes, the more power we have against management.
Hey, men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
Yeah.
Basically, baby, we ain't about that life.
Yeah, well, I'm about that life, so let's be about that life.
We're going to show them.
And the funny thing is we see on social media all the time, like you said earlier, the union ain't doing nothing, why this happening, that happening. Okay, now we doing something. What we doing is asking our membership to support what we finna do.
Stand up.
Yeah. So with that being said, that's what this podcast is all about. Thanks, Brother Mike Hudson, for explaining to them what that is, the NOC. It's the Notice of Contracting. And I want to say this too, because I had conversation with labor. Oh, well, NOC is not per se the strikeable issue. There's other issues, but not that. No, we encompass everything because we want to make sure that we got all bases covered. And I believe from reading over all the language, I know all of us have read over the language.
Yeah.
We sent it all up. We there. We there. So now
we talk to the old school rep.
Yeah. We talk to those.
We didn't do our homework.
Yeah. We there. So now, they say, let's see who blinked first. But the next step is our membership got to support what we're doing all the way across the board. So yes, the weather may be bad. Brother Aaron?
I looked it up because, yes, we got an election coming up, and it's my job to try and prepare for that election. So I looked up and see what the weather is going to be on election day. If you're coming to vote, it's not going to take you long. If it's raining or something, get out your car, go into the ad, it's dry, vote, get back in your car. But it's important that you do show up and vote. Not just for the candidates, but for this strike vote too. And I wanted to say something on behalf of your leadership, the ones who do handle your grievances and stuff, which is not me. When we get to the point to where it's a strike, all the stuff y'all talk of what union is supposed to do, it means that they done did everything they could do to resolve an issue. And this is the last step for them to get this issue resolved. So whatever y'all thinking, they have been working hard to try and resolve these issues. And the fact that we're to this point, that should tell you that they have been trying everything they could.
Because now it's in the membership hands.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have stood 10 toes down on this for a whole year. The trades team, myself included, with all the grievances, just week in, week out, blatant contractual violations. Mike, you brought up the flooring. After they already admitted to violating our rights, had the audacity to give me an appropriation letter after all the talks, did a job they already completed.
Yeah, all right. So even if you want to bid on it, it's done.
The job was done. We couldn't even bid on it.
And from labor perspective, and I know we had a lot of conversations, Mike, about what man to man mean or man for man. Labor answer is, as long as we got skilled trades scheduled 40 hours or more, and we bring in contractors that match that hours, that is a man-to-man match. Our response is, those skilled trades is already scheduled. That's their normal schedule, work schedule.
Correct.
Their job is to do TMSs, work on PMSs, make sure that everything is happening on the floor, and deal with the production issues for that day.
Man-to-man would be additional people.
Man-to-man would be additional.
Yeah. That's what my argument has been with labor. We do have full utilization, and that's where we're not coming to an agreement on, is exactly that.
Yeah.
Is full utilization. The union has stood on that full utilization. I have any given shift, first, second, or third. We'll just take first shift, for example. My first shift trades are there to cover production, do their TMS activities. I have 2 shifts of trade sitting at home that's able and willing to come in and do these projects, but not given the opportunity because it's an easy route for management. There's no accountability. They don't have to do their job. They just pick up the phone and call CCC, Motor City. They show up with their manpower, all the equipment they need, the tools they need, and management has nothing. They get to wipe their hands clean of it. They don't have to manage the workforce. They don't have to order the parts. They don't have to make sure we have the tools. And since I've been a trade there 10 years, management has never given skilled trades the tools and the materials we need to be successful in the plant. And that's a big problem.
I saw you perk up for a minute there.
I mean, my husband is 100% right.
Yeah.
And to be just blunt, the resolve that we collectively came together and offered them, it was an insult for them to not even seriously consider.
Yeah.
They
That
wouldn't
was the
even
issue,
seriously even consider. And it's a slap in the face to all of us.
But they're setting the stage for how they're going to act as we go forward, and that's why I say we have to draw the line in the sand.
Right.
We have to draw the line in the sand. We met today again, and I keep going back to the issues that we met today with the plant manager and his team, and we expressed some of the hostilities, the temperature of the floor, right?
Yep.
That temperature is because there's just the direct disrespect as it relates to the contract and the respect to the workers themselves, the people who build the vehicle. We the people that build the vehicle. And unfortunately, it seems like SHAP or Stellantis is starting to become a revolving door of employees.
But you know what, Chris? I have to respectively, correct you on one thing. That line was already drawn.
That's true.
They've already stepped across it.
That's true.
And now they saying, what y'all gonna do?
That's true.
We in your house. We on your side.
That's true.
What you gonna do?
I'm with you on that.
So we got to show them what we gonna do.
And that's where we at now.
Yeah. That's where we at now.
100% agree.
Yep.
Membership, I need you to come out May 7th and the 8th.
Yes.
Polls open at 5 a.m., close on the 8th at 8 o'clock a.m. in the morning. I need you to vote for your delegate, obviously. That's going to structure the whole UAW for us, the rules. But I also need you to vote in support of strike authorization, giving your leadership, your local leadership here, and sending a company message that you guys support your leadership and moving forward if we are unable to get a resolution to this issue as it relates to these grievances. It also sends a message to international, too, that we are a very strong union and we are willing to stand up and fight.
Exactly.
I'm going to conclude this podcast because that's what this podcast is about. Please share this with your neighbors. Start having these conversations like immediately.
Talk to the trades. Shake their hand and say, hey, we with you.
Yeah.
Trades, walk up to the production operators, have that conversation and tell them we need you.
Yeah.
Let's all start having a conversation showing management that we one local.